When rock pooling, try to stand on the bare sand and avoid walking on the seaweed if possible, just to avoid trampling the seaweed. And it's also best to avoid standing up on the rocks themselves. One, because they're wobbly and you might fall, but also because the animals will be hiding underneath and we don't want to crush or damage any wildlife hiding under the rocks.
Just get the edge, and then if you can flip it or turn it with one hand, then that's absolutely great. Sort of start looking for things that are moving first, or the fast moving things before they get away, and then if there are none of those, then really it's a case of sort of scanning all around.
There's many ways we can look after our wildlife whilst rock pooling, but the number one golden rule is to make sure we flip our rocks back over after we've had a good look at what's underneath. And when you do it, you want to be very gentle so you don't crush anything that you found underneath.
So if you find a crab in the rock pools, the best way to hold them is how I'm doing so now. You want to use your thumb and your finger to hold a crab across the widest parts of their shell, with the crab facing away from you. So you've got those snipping claws facing away so they can't hurt you. We do that because at this time of year, particularly in spring and summertime, crabs can be holding eggs under their abdomen on this part here, and this is also the most delicate part of the crab, so we want to avoid holding them here. We hold them across the sides, your fingers are nice and safe, and so is the crab. I've already got an edible crab in my bucket here, and I've just found a shore crab. Unfortunately, crabs aren't friendly with other animals, or other different species, but they're also not friendly with each other. They don't like to make friends. They're solitary creatures. So I'm not going to put this crab in with the other one. It'd make them very upset. So I'm going to put this crab back where I found it. So when we're catching fish in rock pools, it's a common practice to use nets in rock pools. We see lots of people doing it, but we don't recommend using nets because the fish that we find in rock pools don't have hard scales to protect their bodies. Instead, they cover their bodies in a layer of slime that keeps their gills damp in very small amounts of water, which is a fantastic adaptation if you're a rock pool fish, but it does mean their skin is more delicate. So the nets would be far too abrasive or too rough on a fish's skin. So we would just gently and quickly scoop up a fish with your hands and pop it straight into a bucket with water, and that's the last time you want to handle them. You don't want to go poking and prodding them because we don't want to hurt the fish. And then we'd keep that fish in there for a absolute maximum of 10 minutes before we'd release it back to where we found it. We also don't want to put any crabs in the same bucket with that fish now because they would hurt each other. So we'll keep any fish or crabs separate.